friends and family. Welcome to another exciting episode of Here for a Reason podcast, a podcast that dives into the rich stories of Africans in the diaspora. Guess what, guys? Yes, we hit our first 100 followers and subscribers on Instagram and on YouTube. And all thanks to you, our amazing subscribers and followers. We couldn't have done this without your help and your support. We love you so much. But today, we have something super interesting and exciting. We have a guest in the house. I'm not going to reveal her to you yet, but trust me, if you've been following on all social media platforms, you would know that we did promise to bring you someone with great knowledge to teach us about how to file our taxes in the diaspora. So without further ado, let me tell you why it is very, very important for us as immigrants in the diaspora to learn how to file our taxes. We all had this notion that as a newcomer that hasn't spent up to a year, we're not supposed to, or we shouldn't even think about filing taxes. But you need to understand that filing taxes can impact your permanent residence, your childcare, and whatsoever thing you intend to do in the diaspora, especially here in Canada. So, drum roll, I present to you our super duper guest for today to take us on how to file tax in the diaspora. Join me as I welcome the person of Mrs. Tiwa. Hello, Mrs. Tiwa.
Hi, Okwe.
So good to have you here.
Same here.
Yeah. Could you kindly introduce yourself to our amazing audience?
Okay, my name is Tiwaloluwa.
Mm-hmm.
Been in Canada since 2018.
Wow.
I'm a licensed chartered professional accountant
Mm-hmm.
and licensed in BC.
Mm-hmm.
The way the professional accountant work is based on your province.
Yeah.
So whatever it has to do with taxes, accounting in British Columbia, I'm licensed to do that in BC.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You can see we have the best in the game on the show today for you. So tell us, how long have you been in the practicing field of accounting and as a profession?
Yeah, I became a CPA. That's
Mhm.
what we call it, as Chartered Professional Accountant, since 2018. So since
That's a
2018
long
to
time.
date,
Mhm.
I've been a Chartered Professional Accountant in BC.
Nice. Was it what you were doing back home before coming down here, or?
Yeah, I used to be an accountant back home. I worked for an audit firm back home. And I
No.
was also an ACCA member. So ACCA is just like another professional body back home as well. So I was a professional accountant with the ACCA as well.
Mm.
That's domiciliary in UK.
Mhm.
And then when I came to Canada, I had to do a conversion.
Mhm.
So when you do the conversion to Canada, you just have to up on your game for the Canadian tax and the Canadian law. So that helped me a lot. I just wrote the Canadian tax and the Canadian law exam. Then I became a CPA in BC.
Wow. Guys, this is not a joke. So we are leveraging on your knowledge today, and we are trusting that you will help us to narrow down every mountain of taxes and filing for immigrants in Canada. So we understand that personally, I came in at the time where we were not filing tax. So I didn't do my first tax filing. So is there any repercussion to not filing tax? There are some people that just said that, I don't think it's necessary. Like, what's the point? They don't understand the importance, the reasons why they need to file the tax. If you could just help us explain, why do we need to file tax?
Yeah, I gave that scenario of if you are married, what makes you married is a marriage certificate.
Yes.
So you can't say you're married without a marriage certificate.
Absolutely.
As well, if you're a resident of Canada, what makes you a legal resident of Canada could also be your taxes.
Yes.
Your tax return. So I would say it's very important as a first-time person in Canada or being in Canada for a long time, you haven't done it before, it's important to file your tax. It just gives you that legitimate right. So for example, you want to get a loan in the bank, they ask for a third-party report, and a good one is your tax return.
Oh, wow.
If for whatever reason you want to get like good credit score and all that, they ask for your tax return. Whatever you want to do in Canada that has to do with money inclined, they ask for your tax return. Also, there are some benefits you get in Canada, like the GST, HST tax return. So even if you didn't earn anything or you came in December and it's close to the end of the year, I advise people to file their taxes just so they get those benefits. If you don't file, they don't know you're in the country, so they don't have any reason to pay you.
I shot myself in the leg.
Yeah, so those money are very important.
Yeah.
That they're just free money, right? So why don't you have it?
Oh my goodness. So you mentioned GST,
HST.
Okay, could you kindly buttress on what that's all about?
Yeah, so that's good service tax. So basically is a return that is being paid quarterly.
Okay.
So they pay every quarter. That's the government of Canada. They give each people every quarter. And that is based on the fact of what you earn. So not everybody is entitled to GST. So yeah, if you earn a lot.
Because I was going to ask that, as a student, are you entitled to file this thing?
Yeah, as a student, you are quite entitled to file your taxes and get the GST return.
Okay.
But if the whole family income gets to a certain number, then you're no longer entitled to a GST. Yeah. But as a student, there's no how you want to work, especially with a 20 hours cap every week that you get to that borderline. So as a student, you get the GST, HST return.
Makes sense. So what are the things we understand now why we need to file our tax and what are like the necessary things to look out for? So what are the documents that you think that we need to have in place before you can even think about filing? Because truth be told, right now it's tax filing season. I don't even know how to start, where to start. What do I need to put together? I'm lost. And I'm sure we have thousands of our followers that are lost as me. So
I know. Yeah. So I would say like there are various documents you need based on your category in Canada.
Okay.
We have some people that come to Canada for schooling.
Yes.
Some people come because they had their PR back home and they came here to work legitimately.
Yes.
Some people are self-contractors. They don't work for anybody. Yeah. So we have those categories. So I'll kick into those categories and basically what you need.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're a lifesaver. Yeah.
I know. Okay. So for a student in Canada, and probably maybe you came in 2024. So everything we're talking about now has to do with last year. That's 2024 tax return. So you need your T4. By the end of February, your employer should give you your T4. So wherever you've worked in Canada, they should send you your T4. Peradventure, you changed your address. You can walk in there to ask for your T4 if they're in Kamloops. If they are outside where you live, then you can go ahead to just send an email so they can send you your T4.
Okay.
So without a T4, you can also file, but it's like you're doing a guesswork. So you having that T4 says, oh, this is how much I earned, this is how much my employer took out of my paycheck, has income taxes and all that. So you need to have your T4. As international students, we pay lots of money.
Yes.
So paying those monies, even if you think that it's a bunch, there are also tax deductions. And TRU keep profile of all the monies you paid in your school fees. So you need your tuition tax receipts as well. So if you go into your module, whatever school you attend, you'll be able to get your tuition tax receipts there from there. So that's a very good deduction. You go to church, you go to mosques, or you contribute to any charitable organization, non-profit, you're entitled to get a tax slip as well. So that's like, I know people have that understanding that, oh, I'm paying to a non-profit, I don't need it. But some people bank on it a lot. That's the way
why they
keep their
give.
money, so they give a lot. So those money, you can use those as tax deduction as well. Yeah. I would say if you're a student and you have maybe a kid in Canada, they go to school as well.
So you get tax return on them too.
Yeah, for the child care.
It's time to go and born.
For the daycare expense, the money you pay every month for daycare, or your child attends a private school in Canada, high school, not the university, but high school, middle school, elementary school. Private, you get the tax receipt from them, the tuition receipt, and you put in your tax.
This looks like an investment to me. I should really put my money more. So for students so I learned that some grocery or some like buyings earn you tax return, while some other buyings doesn't. So I really don't know which one or which not actually earns you tax return. Or do we get tax return on everything we buy in this country?
So that's the extent of the GST
Oh,
So the essence of the GST is they don't know what you're buying, but they just think about it that, okay, probably maybe you spent maybe up to 1,500 in groceries for the quarter. We are just giving you a token back. So they just give you an amount.
Okay, so how about the part where people tell you to keep your receipts? Because when I came in, that's what the first thing I heard. Like, don't make sure you keep your receipts.
I
Make sure you
know.
take your record. Make sure you do this. Government will require. So when you're filing the tax, are we required to like bring all those receipts that we've gathered? Because I don't even know where some of these receipts are. Like, is that how it works? Because we've heard, is it a myth or like it is actually true for you to keep all your receipts in checks?
It's not a myth. It just depends on your situation.
Oh, okay.
So if you are a student and you're not working as a subcontractor, so what do I mean as a subcontractor? You have a registered business under your name and you are working and you are not being taxed when you pay. Some people work and they don't tax them.
Yeah.
They go ahead to do their own taxes at the end of their taxing.
Okay.
That's when you need those receipts.
Oh.
I have lots of people that keep those pile of receipts and even keep them in Ziploc. They are very diligent with it. They put it every month, like in different Ziploc, and they give them to me when it's time for their taxing.
In his car, there's a compartment for receipts, few receipts. I'm like, how long am I going to do this for? Now, talking about students that, work and have a side hustle. We have a lot of them. They have cooking business in their room and they're like comfortable and they don't pay taxes. So for those kind of people that, people that makes hair, makeup, do, we Africans, we do side gigs. So what do you think is the impact and is it necessary for them to file tax or not? How do they get to file if it is? Like, what does taxing have to do with those side hustles that are not registered in Canada?
Yeah. Okay, before we move to that, I also wanted to say that you can keep your receipt if you work like maybe for Uber Eats.
Okay.
Skip the dishes,
People that
DoorDash, people that do those deliveries as well.
Okay.
They keep those receipts. And why they keep those receipts is because they get income from Skip when they work. So those expenses tend to reduce the income. So maybe for gas, they do car repair, their brake spots. So you can just keep them. And when it's time for your taxes, income less those expenses. If there is no profit, you don't pay tax. So it's when there's profit that you pay tax. So everyone looks for a loss at that end. So
okay.
Yeah.
So now we move to the student.
Yeah. So I would say every income you get in Canada, you have to report it. That's the legal thing to do.
Oh, yes.
So whatever
the legal thing
income
to do.
you earn in Canada, either cash when no one is looking at you, that's why as much as possible.
Even with the cash?
Yeah, that's why as much as possible, Canada tries to eradicate cash. Just because people tend to go away with those cashes, right?
Yeah, because I'm looking for a cash job.
Oh.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Even with cash, it's just legal that you report it and say, oh, this is what I earn. Because the implication of not doing that is there's so many benefits that are attached to businesses. So for example, when the COVID hit, government wanted to help small businesses. Because small businesses are the root of every country.
Economy, yes.
Yeah, so they wanted to help businesses. So those businesses that are doing cash job and they were not sustainable, they didn't file taxes and all, they didn't even have them. They didn't even know about them.
Oh my goodness.
So there was no way they could get any grants. And those monies were free money.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
Yeah.
So for those people in that category that has a side job that are not registered, so they should also file taxes.
That's the right thing to do. If you haven't had a business, some people just they cook food in the house and they don't even have a name for their business, right?
Those are the people I'm talking about.
Have it legally registered, have a name for the business, then file taxes. Then just put it in and it might increase how much you owe CRA at the end. But it's just that your business is being recognized in case no one prays for COVID, but could happen again, anything, right? So it's just good that you keep those things together. And who knows, your business might grow. So you don't want it to be that when you are growing, you're not making money and all, that's when you want to start reporting. Report it from the beginning.
And the truth is,
when you start.
they never forget.
I know. They never forget, right?
Yeah.
So
I think maybe some other time we'll have Sister Tiwa or Madam Mrs. T come talk to us about building small business and how you can go about, you know, having a small business and why you need to register your small business. But for today, let's get back into talking about taxes. So we've talked about, you know, the documents that you need, and you mentioned that for students, subcontractors, and for people that has PR. So for people that has PR and, you know, they're subcontractors, so what are the things and document or how to go about this tax filing?
So for subcontractors, I'm talking about people that they don't pay tax upfront. So that also relates to skip drivers, Uber Eats drivers, and DoorDash drivers and all that. And also some IT firms as well, some medical practitioners as well. Those people don't pay taxes upfront. So I mean that their employer don't remove taxes. Whatever they earn, if it's $1,000, it's $1,000. So they don't take taxes up there.
Is that true?
Yeah, it happens.
Why am I studying business? Why?
No,
that's not fair. No. You mean nurses, doctors?
Some people get their gross amount.
They didn't tell me this before I came into this. I'm changing my...
I know.
Hey, but that's really sweet.
Yeah. But the big part of it, even if it's sweet, is the fact that you still get to pay the taxes. The issue there is when you pay your tax, right? So those people that are subcontractors...
Why did they not put water in front and let us be stepping on wet ground? What is that one?
That's it, right? So those subcontractors, they tend to pay their taxes when they are filing. So now they should have saved a lot of money to pay for those taxes.
Goodness, I feel for you, sir.
I know.
So like they accumulated their taxes and so they'll pay back.
Yeah, they'll pay back after.
I don't want that one. Let them be taking it small like that.
So for that, the document you need as a subcontractor will be a T4A.
Okay.
So the A is in front of it. That's what makes it different from an employer-employee, right? So you need a T4A. So as an employer that has a business, that I'm talking about a subcontractor that has a business. There are lots of expenses you'd have incurred in this year. Possibly you wanted to set a home office, like working from home and all that. You had to buy screens, you had to buy monitor, laptop and all that. Those expenses are tax deductible. Those are the people that have to keep their receipt. Probably you bought a TV, maybe the screens, you have the two screens, they are not big enough, so you wanted something really gigantic. You bought a TV. The expense for the TV, you can claim it as a tax deduction. So whatever expense, basically, that helped you in doing your job properly. Those are the expenses that you can get as a deduction.
Wow.
Yeah, so when the income comes in, those expenses then rolls in, then they reduce the income gradually, then that helps. You have a child, you take the child to daycare, those childcare expenses, they help a lot. Also, maybe you make contributions to your RRSP.
Right now.
Is that your concern, basically?
that extra money is something.
Yeah, so that helps. Maybe you made a contribution to your RRSP.
What if you get married? Is there any tax attached to being married in this country?
For being married?
Yes.
I'm looking at it. Child benefits. Okay, that's for child. Like getting married. Do you know that? I'm just thinking about it. There isn't. But if you have a child, then there is benefits. So do you want to have a child?
The child part. When we say yes, I do, you do.
Yes, I do. Like the
we should get the benefit for the doing.
There's actually the only thing that helps you is on your tax profile. You see there. Married status.
I don't want
there's no money.
There's the money, there's the cuckoo.
Yeah.
But like talking about that, like what is like projection? Like what's the amount that you can get? Like huge money as soon as you file your tax. Like on estimate, just give us an estimate. Like the highest you have, that's okay. Like at the end of me filing my tax, I could get like this amount, maybe 4,000, 5,000, because I think this is an investment. And going forward, right from this moment, as I'm going to the store, I make sure I'm buying something that will add more to my time. So like from your experience and your expertise, so far so good. Like what's the duration, amount, estimates, biggest that you have seen that people have cash out after filing their tax?
I would say an estimate is between $75 to as much as you want it.
Like $75,000?
No, not $75,000.
Just
$75.
Yeah.
Okay.
Small. What liars?
Like, it could be any amount. And there are so many factors that relate to it. I say $75 because if you're a resident in BC, automatically you have that $75. So far you live in BC.
Residency.
Other provinces are different.
Okay.
But if you're a resident in BC, you had that base amount for $75. Then every other thing kicks out.
It pays
your rent. Okay, so I would say what makes you get like a huge tax return is based on like the knowledge you have, and also how you've helped yourself throughout the year. So in taxes in Canada, people's taxes are based on tax bracket. So if you are on a high stream of tax bracket, there are some savings you can do during the year, like contribute to the RRSP or the TFSA. If you contribute to the RRSP, that's a registered savings plan.
Thank you for giving us the full definition.
A registered savings plan, that's a tax deduction. If you contribute to the TFSA, that's a tax-free savings account. There is no deduction for that. But one thing is, there is nothing in the TFSA that will be taxed. That's the name, tax-free. But if it's the RRSP, upon withdrawal, so you put some money there, and when you want to withdraw it, they will tax you. Yeah. So it depends on how you've made your year. So they say prepare for the year because you don't know what will happen in front, right? So that's the situation. So if you've done that, if you contributed to non-profit organizations, and some people do lots of donations a lot, and you question yourself, why did this happen? Because they're in the high tax bracket stream, and that's the only way they can help themselves. Wisdom is profitable. To direct, right?
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Madam T. Honestly, this is absolutely what we need. It's about spending. It's spending smart, spending wisely. Know what you are putting your money into. You see, all those small things you're buying, it cannot give you tax. Buy Hush TV. Go to Best Buy. Go and buy fridge. Buy washing machine. I'm just kidding. But really, this is really outstanding. Thank you so much, Mrs. T. God, I need to buy a house.
Yeah.
Then talking about that, properties. When you invest in properties, what are the taxes like? How do you file tax? And especially when you have tenants or for like the self-contractor that you mentioned, if you have employees that you pay salaries to, how does that affect your tax?
Yeah, so if you want to buy a property and you're a first-time home buyer, there's a program. So whatever you're doing in Canada, it's the fact that there's always a program attached. You just need to know when to use it. So if you're like maybe, for example, you want to buy a home for the first time, there's a first-time home buyer's account where you can save some certain amount of money and it can stay there till 90 days. And when you want to buy a home, so it's not like you're having a fantasy of buying a home. Like you're ready, you're ready. You're ready to sign the document. You have the deposits and everything. They've accepted your offer. Then you can withdraw that money from a first-time home buyer's account.
So there is an account like that.
There's an account like that
buyer with any bank.
Yeah, with any bank, just go register for a first-time home buyer's account. Yeah, bank. And when you get the money from there, you can use it as a down payment, but you have to keep the money there for 90 days before you withdraw it. And upon withdrawing, there's no taxes for it. So it just helps you to save your money. So when you're ready to get your initial deposit. Yeah, so that's very important that if you want to get a home for the first time, you do that. Also, when you get a home, probably maybe the downstairs, you want to use it for rental purposes and all. You pay interest and you pay principal because the way it works in Canada is a credit system.
Yes.
So even though you're paying a down payment, the rest of the amount of the house is being financed by the bank. So those amounts, the interest, if you have a tenant, and you're getting a rental income, that interest helps a lot. So the tenant being there, it serves as a tax deduction as well.
Okay.
But you also get rental income. So it's not like maybe a family is staying with you downstairs and you don't have a rental. You have to have a rental income to match the expense. So if you don't have a rental income to match the expense, then there's no tax deduction. So there has to be 2 by 2. So rental income expense. Yeah. So I would say if you are thinking of getting a home, you can start saving into that account because it has to be 90 days just because of like the money laundering situation, just to be sure that you are the owner of the money and all before you withdraw from it. Also, if you do renovation as well, you can get some money from the home buyers plan as well to just get some money for.
That's why don't the carriers go where we don't know.
Let me bring it down. It down.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we've talked so much, and I really don't want to take much of your time. I mean, you've poured into us, and I'm just gonna ask this to round up. So, where do we need to go? Who are the people we need to talk to? If I'm ready to file my tax today, like right now, and I have this T4 form, I have my. Do we need any other document? Your bank
from school, like the
tuition, just those two as a student.
Yeah, and maybe you made donations to charitable organizations.
But those ones, how do I get those ones back?
Yeah, so you just need to call them or you need to email them or visit them and say, oh, I made this certain donation.
My receipt doesn't work for that. My bank receipt can work for that. No,
it wouldn't work because at any point, CRE can audit you, right? And say, oh, we need that tax receipt to show that you made that donation. Okay. So the bank statement wouldn't help at that point. A donation receipt will help. Oh, wow. Anybody could be audited. But the right thing is to have your information. And let me just say this quickly, that if you have those receipts and all, I just said, like you kept piling it, you have to pile it up until 5 years. They could audit you at any time within those years. So you need to have those receipts. If you don't want to keep receipts, you can scan them, label them correctly. And put them in your folder. They can just ask anytime. And them auditing you doesn't mean that you have an offense, you've done something wrong. They just want to check to see if you did something.
Okay, so where do we go if we want to file our taxes?
Yeah, that's a very good question because there are lots of people that could help you with your taxes, qualified people. I know H&R Block.
Okay,
they could help you to do your taxes. Also in school, I know CPA. I volunteered so many times in school just to come and have an oversight of students doing free taxes for people. So I know TRA offers that service as well, where people go for free taxes and all, and they help in your situation. But I tell people, I say, your accountant and your doctors are people you should keep close to. Yeah. And why I say that is your doctor knows your history.
Thank God I have stated.
Your doctor knows your health history. Likewise, your tax accountant also knows your money history. So they know how they can help you in your situation. So if you have one, make sure you stick to them. So if you've been using H&R before you tend to change, think about it that, oh, these people know my history. Let me just clinch to them. If you want to change, be open and transparent to talk to the new person. So they know your situation.
Yeah. So are there any apps that can help too, if you don't want to go to anyone to do this for you?
Some people like the DIY. I just do it myself and all that. And if you want to do that, they have TurboTax. TurboTax helps a lot. You just ask questions and you answer them correctly, and it takes you to the next question. UFile is another good app that you can use as well. I think one is cheaper than the other.
Okay, you pay for it.
Yeah. You don't mean it? You pay for it. I know Wealth Simple too. You pay for it. All of those apps, you pay for it. Okay. It's quite a token just to help you file your taxes correctly.
Thank you so much, Tiwa. You've really blessed the audience with your knowledge. We are really grateful for you to come. We hope that next time when we invite you, you honor our invites. Okay. All right. With that being said, if you require any professional advice or guidance on how to file your tax this season, please be sure to contact Madam T for professional help. So could you mind telling the audience how they can get in touch with you?
If you want to see what I've done so far, we can have a coffee chat.
Yes.
We can meet somewhere.
Yes. You can book an appointment through me. And all. Yes. Yeah. Then she has email. What's the email address?
odysconsult@gmail.com.
Okay, we'll be sure to put it on the screen or in the comments for you to get that. And if you require further assistance, you can always reach out to me, or you reach out to the team of Here for a Reason podcast for more information about our guests. Right. So guys, you've heard from Madam T, as she has told us, and guide us on how to file tax, the apps you can use, reasons why you need to file your tax as an immigrant, and the things you need to put your money into for you to get huge tax return. I hope this helps you to be better in this year's tax filing season and going forward. Please, if you're just joining, if this is your first time on this platform, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to comment, like, share with somebody that you know that this episode will help so much. And please don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms. Sister T, do you have anything you would love to tell our audience before we sign out?
Yeah, I want to say thank you, Okwe, for this invite, and thank you for the team. This is good. This is information.
Thank you.
I think most of us, how we get missing in Canada or in the diaspora is the fact that we don't have the right information.
Absolutely.
So this is really good, and it really came at the right time. I just wanted to say, like, everyone asking, because now it's tax season, people ask lots of questions, little bits and all that. I'll just say, just go to this channel. I think I've said everything I had in me today.
Look at that.
So don't even call me to say, oh, Tiwa, how are you doing? Quick one. It's like,
no, quick one.
Quick one. Go and subscribe.
For a reason.
Go and subscribe and here for a reason. And just hear all the quick one you want to say. So all of the answers, everything you want to say quick one for, everything is here and it's here for free. And I really appreciate what you do.
Thank you so much. You've heard that. I love that. Quick one comes here for a reason. Thank you so much, guys. And until next time, it's data.